Good evening, Mrs. May. You probably noticed that over the weekend, cinemas in the UK and indeed here in Ireland have been showing special gala anniversary showings of The Great Escape, one of the British classic movies. And I suppose it's a movie you kind of thought you were going to be in, that next Friday, which was supposed to be Brexit Day, you were going to be Steve McQueen at the end of that movie on your motorbike, flying over the barbed wire that has kept Britain supposedly imprisoned in the great prison camp of the European Union. You must know by now that that's not the movie that's playing. It's more like a carry-on movie. Maybe carry on regardless, which has been effectively your motto over the last 2.5 years. You've just carried on, and you've carried on in spite of the fact that the project that you're leading has very obviously failed. I think you thought you were engaged in something genuinely patriotic, that you were helping to make Britain great again. It's surely obvious even to you at this stage that all that this project has produced for Britain is national humiliation. It has exposed Britain as a country which at the moment cannot be taken seriously in the world. Surely that's not what you had in mind when you embarked on this journey. The strange thing about Brexit is that at the moment, the best possible outcome, which is your deal, is that Britain ends up, after all of this, as a second-class member of the European Union. If that's what British people had been offered, if somebody said, would you like to swap first-class membership for second-class membership, would you have recommended it to anybody? Of course you wouldn't. So what can you do now? At the moment, you're going to go down in history as a prime minister who failed, who led the country into a hole and kept digging, and when you're long gone, it will still be digging in that hole for another generation unless you do something now. You have one last chance. You're not going to last very long as Prime Minister in any case. You have one last chance to say, look, let's tell the truth about this. Let's be open about this. Let's admit to ourselves that we tried to do something, and maybe you can say it was a noble aspiration, but that we have failed miserably. And the courageous, honest, truthful thing to do right now is to admit that failure. So much human suffering is caused by people who will not admit that they have failed and who go on rather than lose face. You have one chance now, which is, before you are forced out, to make an honest assessment of where Britain is and of where this project has led it. If you were now to say that you are revoking Article 50, that you are calling on your countrywomen and countrymen to engage in an honest, open debate about who they are and where they want to be, and that you are, of course, leaving. You're not going to be around to lead that debate. You're not the right person to do it. But if you bought them that time, and if you opened up that possibility of a really honest discussion about what Britain is and what it wants to be, I think posterity would be much kinder to you than it's going to be otherwise.